So control of heat exchanger. Okay. So we are continuing our second course outcome. You will be able to explain the instrumentation, control and operation of chemical reactor, distillation tower, now heat exchanger. Okay. So this one is again course outcome 2. Okay, so again I am following this textbook, BG Riptech, Instrument Engineers Handbook, Process Control and Optimization, Volume 2, 4th edition. The page number is this one. And once again, I am using, or the figures used in this slide is taken from this reference, or are taken from this reference, okay. So here you can see the control of 4 different types of heat exchangers. Liquid to liquid heat exchanger, steam heater, condenser and reboiler. 4 different types of heat exchangers that we are going to do. We are not going to discuss about the structure or operation or the process of these heat exchangers. We are going to discuss about the control used in this heat exchanger. Okay. So before that, the most important one that you have to remember is heat exchanger is used to transfer energy from a heat transfer medium to the process medium. It is transferring heat energy between the heat transfer medium and process medium. In some situation, it will transfer energy from heat transfer medium to process medium or vice versa. And the most important one is the dynamics, the characteristics of this heat exchanger is almost defined. Means the equations are well defined, the steady state or dynamic equations are well defined, the dynamics are well defined. So the advantage of this one is it is very easy to model heat exchanger compared to the other one. Here it is very easy to model the heat exchanger. Okay, we are not going to do that, but that one is advantage of heat exchanger. Okay. So these are the terminologies used in heat exchanger. Okay, so please note down this diagram and this terminology. Okay. So these are the symbols and terminologies used in heat exchanger. Actually, the shown one is steam boiler. Later you can understand that this one is actually steam boiler. I told you we are going to discuss about 4 different types of heat exchangers. Okay. So first one, the diagram. See, you can see this one, this circle is the shell and this one is the tube. So the representation is a shell and tube representation. The heat exchanger is represented by assuming that this one is a shell and tube heat exchanger. Okay, so circle and tube. Okay, so now first go through this particular one. A double arrow is used to represent the process liquid. Please note, we are transferring heat energy between process medium and heat transfer medium. This one and this one, these two are associated with process medium. So if it is double arrow, that is liquid, process liquid. If it is broken double line, okay, if the double arrow is a broken one, that one is process vapor. Okay, so 2 symbols are associated with process medium. This is process liquid and this is process vapor. Okay, next one is associated with heat transfer medium. So this is these four are heat transfer medium. Okay, so here you can see 4 things. So I am again splitting this 4 one into this is A, category A, heat transfer medium. Okay, this is also category A. This is B. This is B. The reason is, you can see, first go through A. Both are single lines. Am I correct? These 2 are single lines. Means that one is used for cooling purpose. If the heat transfer medium is used for cooling purpose, a single line is used. Okay, but here it is continuous. In previous case for process, if the process medium is liquid, what we are using? Continuous. Here also continuous means this is liquid. So always continuous means that is liquid. Always continuous means liquid. So single line continuous, that is cooling liquid. Double line continuous means that is process liquid. Is it okay? But what about this one? This one is a broken one. Dashed a single line. So this is used for cooling purpose, but that is vapor. This is cooling vapor. This is cooling vapor. Okay. So now what about B? You can see that here bubbles are used. A series of bubbles are used. If the series of bubbles are continuous, that is liquid, means heating liquid. This is heating liquid. And what about this one? This one is broken one. This is heating vapor. So please note, this is heating liquid and this is heating vapor. That is steam. Heating vapor means steam. Okay. So for 6 different types of medium you had seen, this is continuous double line. So that is continuous double line means process. Continuous means liquid. So this is process liquid. So here we have single line. Single continuous line. Single continuous line. Continuous means liquid. Is it okay? Single means that is cooling liquid. So this is cooling liquid. Here again it is continuous. So this is liquid, but bubbles are used. So this is continuous bubbles means this is heating liquid. So first 3 are liquid. First 3 are liquid. Okay, because first 3 are continuous. The difference is this is double, so process liquid. This is single line, cooling liquid. This is continuous bubbled. So this is heating liquid. Now the remaining 3 are vapor. Okay, so remaining 3 are vapor. So 2 parallel lines, splitted 2 parallel lines. So that is process vapor. 2 parallel line means process. So as it is splitted, so process vapor. This is single splitted line. So this is cooling vapor. This is splitted bubbles. So this is heating vapor. So these are the 6 symbols used. So now you can see that this one is shell, this is tube. Okay. So you can see that this one is associated with heat transfer medium. This is associated with heat transfer medium. This is associated with process medium. Okay. Now what is happening? You can see an arrow also. So what is happening process medium? You can see that before and after this operation, this is liquid because continuous line is used. Before and after. Here also continuous line, here also continuous line. Means before and after heat transaction, process medium remains as liquid. Means the phase of process medium is not changed. What about heat transfer medium? This is the direction of arrow. So before effect, this is broken bubbles. So what it is? This is heating vapor. After effect, that one is continuous line. So what is happening? Vapor is converted to liquid. So please note, vapor is converted to liquid if heat is transferred from vapor to process medium. So from this process medium, from this heat transfer medium, heat energy is transferred to this one. Means by using steam, the temperature of this process medium is increased. So this is nothing but steam heater. So that we can explain later. Okay. So this one is, anyway, this one is a terminology. So by using the input outputs symbols of both process medium and heat transfer medium, we can say what type of heat exchanger is this. Okay, so please note this one is a steam heater. Later you can understand that. Okay. So for a time being, please note circle is used to represent shell. This one is tube. Now these 6 are the symbols of different medium. Okay. Now these are variables and parameters. T1 means temperature of input process medium, the input temperature of process medium, T1. T2 is the output temperature of process medium, means the temperature of process medium after the heat transaction, that is T2. Okay. Now W is the flow rate of process medium. W is the flow rate of process medium. Okay. Now Cp is a specific heat of the process medium, that is liquid. Cp is the specific heat. Okay. Now Ws is the flow rate of steam. Ws is the flow rate of steam. Okay. And lambda is the latent heat of steam. Lambda is the latent heat of steam, not Hs. Lambda is the latent heat of steam. Okay. So these are the variables and parameter. Why it is variables and parameter? Variable means that is varying with respect to some independent variable, normally time. So T1, T2, W and Ws are the variables. What about lambda and Cp? Cp and lambda are constant if you are using a particular process medium and heat transfer medium. If you are using steam, associated with the steam, a particular latent heat is there. Associated with some another liquid, a particular specific heat is there. So lambda and Cp are parameters because it is fixed, it is not varying. So that is fixed. So normally the inside the shell, the medium which have high temperature, that is filled inside the shell. So inside the shell, the medium with high temperature is filled, and the medium with relatively small temperature is flowing through this tube. Okay. So here the temperature means before operation. We are not considering these two temperature. Before operation, you can see the steam have relatively high temperature compared to the temperature of process medium. So this steam is filled inside the shell, and the medium which have relatively small temperature before effect is process medium, that is flowing through the tube. Is it okay, all of you? Any doubt? Am I audible? Okay. So I am continuing this discussion. So in distillation tower, we discussed about the degrees of freedom. What is degrees of freedom? Degrees of freedom means it is a factor which is used to identify how many independent control loops that we can implement in a system, in a process. It is known as degrees of freedom, and that degrees of freedom is equal to number of independent variables. Here a small modification is required. Number of independent variables minus number of equations. So that is degrees of freedom. So we discussed degrees of freedom in distillation tower. Okay. So here in heat exchanger, the degrees of freedom have it have importance, especially if we are discussing about reboiler. Degrees of freedom is so important in reboiler. In liquid to liquid heat exchanger, that one is not that much important, but in reboiler this degrees of freedom is important. Okay. So I will tell you why it is important during that class. Okay. So again I am considering the steam heater. I told you this is steam heater. So we can find the degrees of freedom of this steam heater. It is very simple to find the degrees of freedom of steam heater. Before that, what are these terms? W means the mass flow rate of process medium. It is liquid. Ws means mass flow rate of steam. Why we are considering mass flow rate? If you are considering mass flow rate, the mass flow rate of this steam and this condensate will be same. If you are considering mass flow rate. If you are considering volumetric flow rate, these two flow rate will be different because this one is vapor and this is liquid. So volumetric flow rate will change, but mass flow rate will be same. Okay. So this is mass flow rate of steam. Now T1 is the temperature of liquid, this process medium before heat transaction, and T2 is the temperature after the heat transaction. T2 is the temperature of process medium after heat transaction. And the interesting thing is T1 is less than T2. Why? Because this is steam heater, so definitely after the heat transaction temperature will be greater than T1. Okay. Now what is remaining here? Lambda is the the latent heat of this latent heat of steam, and Cp is the specific heat of this process medium. So normally for a particular process, the Cp and lambda will be constant. So we can say lambda and Cp are parameters. So what are variables? Variables are Ws, W, T1, T2. These are variables. Okay. So please note, we are considering steam in order to explain what is degrees of freedom. Take steam heater as an example. So here the variables are T1, inlet process fluid temperature, W, the process fluid flow, before and after operation the flow rate will be same, T2, outlet process fluid temperature, then Ws, steam flow rate. Now parameters are Cp, process fluid specific heat, and lambda is the latent heat of steam. Okay. So what is the heat energy carried by this steam? Heat energy carried by the steam is equal to, or the heat energy transferred by the steam to this process medium is equal to the flow rate of that steam, Ws, into the latent heat, that is lambda. This one is the heat energy transfer. Now heat energy absorbed by this process medium is, both are same. The heat energy transferred by the steam and heat energy absorbed by the process medium, both are same. So the heat energy absorbed by the process medium is H is equal to the specific heat Cp into, okay. Now what is the flow rate of process medium? W into, now the temperature difference. The temperature difference is T2 minus T1. So here you can see that in heat energy absorbed, temperature difference is a parameter. Why? The heat energy absorbed is used to increase the temperature. The phase is not changed. It is used to increase the temperature. So temperature difference is an important factor. But in steam, the heat loss is used to condense the liquid. The temperature is not changed. So in this thing, the temperature difference is negligible. The phase is changed if you are considering saturated steam. The phase is changed, the temperature is not changed. So that is why latent heat is an important factor. Okay, so I am advising you to go through or check what is latent heat and what is specific heat. Okay, what are these two parameters, or what is the definition of latent heat and what is the definition of specific heat and latent heat. So please go through Google. Okay. Okay. So here I told you the heat energy transferred by this heat transfer medium and heat energy absorbed by the process medium, both are same. Means these two, left hand side is same. So automatically right hand side is same. And interesting thing is that one is the process equation. Okay. So the process equation is lambda into Ws is equal to Cp into W into T2 minus T1. Means this steam heater, this part is defined by or represented by using a process equation. This one is a process equation, and it have four variables Ws, W, T2, T1. Four variables are there and one equation is there. So 4 minus 1 degrees of freedom is 3. Means we can implement a maximum of 3 independent control loops in this steam heater. Maximum of 3 independent control loops that is possible here. Okay, so this is degrees of freedom.